His name is Harry. He lives in Leeds. He's 34, works in a hospital, and last Tuesday he did something most people never do. He opened the government's pension forecast tool. He typed in his NI number. He looked at his projected state pension. £4,200 a year. Not a month, a year. He sat with that number for about 30 seconds. Then he closed the laptop and went and made a cup of tea. Sound familiar? Here's the thing. We've all been told pensions are important. We've all nodded along. We've all thought, yeah, I'll sort that out. But why are they important, and how do you actually sort it out when nobody explains it in a way that makes sense? That's this video. By the end of the next 10 minutes, you will know exactly what to do. And I mean exactly. Not speak to a financial advisor. Not it depends. Actual steps. Let's go. A pension is a tax wrapper with a timer. That's it. That's the whole thing. Tax wrapper means the government lets your money grow inside a pension without paying tax on it every year. No capital gains tax, no dividend tax, just growth. Timer means you can't touch it until you're 57. The official age is currently 55, and that number will rise to 57 in the year 2028. That's the catch. The government is essentially saying, we'll give you serious tax advantages, but you have to actually leave it alone. That's the deal. And the deal is genuinely good. Because here's the rule underneath the rule. Your employer pays in, the government tops up, the market multiplies. 3 separate forces working in the same direction, at the same time, every month. That's not savings. That's a machine. Let's make this concrete. Let's say you earn £30,000 a year, and you pay 5% into your workplace pension. That's £125 a month from you. But wait, it's not £125 from your pocket, because basic rate tax relief means the government adds 20% back. So £100 of your actual take-home pay sends £125 into your pension. That's free money. Then your employer has to contribute at least 3% under auto-enrollment. On a £30,000 salary, that's another £75 a month going in. That's free money too. So you contribute £100 from your actual take-home, and £200 goes in. You doubled your money before the market has done a single thing. Now let's look at what happens to that £200 a month. If you're 34 and you start today, you have roughly 30 years until state pension age. Historical average annual returns in a global index fund have been around 7% in nominal terms over the long run. £200 a month. 7%. 30 years. That's over £240,000 from £100 of your actual take-home pay every month. Now here's the domino that should make you stop what you're doing. The average retiree in the UK currently has around £37,000 in their pension pot at retirement. That's not a comfortable retirement. That's barely a modest one. The full new state pension, assuming you have 35 qualifying national insurance years, is £230.25 a week in 2025 to 2026. That's just under £12,000 a year. The Pensions and Lifetime Savings Association, they publish independent retirement living standards, say you need at least £31,300 a year for a moderate single retirement. Things like one foreign holiday, running a car, not panicking every time the boiler makes a noise. The gap between what the state gives you and what a moderate retirement actually costs. Nearly £20,000 a year, every year, for potentially 20 to 30 years of retirement. That is what a pension is supposed to fill. And here's why most people don't act on this. It's called the status quo bias. Your brain genuinely prefers doing nothing, even when doing nothing costs you £20,000 a year in retirement. Psychologists have a name for it, and I'm going to name it right now so it loses its power over you. You are not lazy. Your brain is wired to avoid uncertain future payoffs. This is normal, and it is completely fixable. Most people think there are 2 options when it comes to pensions. Option 1, leave everything in your workplace pension and hope for the best. Option 2, open a SIPP, a self-invested personal pension, and manage it yourself. But here's the third option that most videos skip entirely. The smartest route often combines both. Here's why. Your workplace pension is automatic. The employer contribution only lands if you're inside it. You cannot get your employer's match paid into a SIPP. That money simply doesn't exist anywhere else. So Rule 1, Always contribute enough to your workplace pension to get the full employer match. Always. No exceptions. That's the floor. But your workplace pension might have limited fund choices and higher charges. A self-invested personal pension through providers like InvestEngine, Vanguard, or AJ Bell lets you invest in low-cost global index funds with total ongoing charges that can be as low as 0.15 to 0.22% per year. On a £100,000 pot, the difference between 0.22% charges and 1.5% charges is roughly £1,280 a year going to fees instead of your retirement. That's free money you're currently handing to someone else. So, max the employer match in your workplace pension first. Then, if you have extra to invest, consider a low-cost SIPP for the rest. That's the third way: workplace pension and SIPP, not one or the other. Now, the bit that should make you slightly angry. The state pension age is currently 66. It's rising to 67 between 2026 and 2028. There are proposals to accelerate the rise to 68. The state pension age rises faster than most people's pay. The triple lock, which ties state pension increases to whichever is highest of inflation, earnings growth, or 2.5%, is currently the subject of political debate approximately every 6 months. The takeaway is simple. Don't build a retirement plan that depends entirely on politicians keeping their word about a benefit they keep threatening to change. That's not cynicism, that's arithmetic. Do this 5 things this week, not someday. This week. Number 1. Go to gov.uk/check-national-insurance-record. Log in with your government gateway details. You need 35 qualifying years for the full state pension. If you have gaps, and many people do, especially after career breaks or self-employment, you may be able to buy them back. Voluntary national insurance contributions currently cost around £824 per missing year. Each year you buy back adds roughly £342 a year to your state pension. For life. Pay £824 once, get £342 every single year until you die. That is free money. I'm going to keep saying free money until it sticks. Number 2. Ask your HR department whether your employer offers salary sacrifice on pension contributions. Normal pension contributions come out of your pay after tax and national insurance. Salary sacrifice means they come out before both. As an employee, you currently pay 8% national insurance on earnings above £12,570 a year. Salary sacrifice means you avoid that 8% too. On a £200 monthly pension contribution, salary sacrifice saves you roughly £16 extra per month in NI alone. That's £192 a year staying in your pocket or going into your pension instead of HMRC. One email to HR, potentially hundreds of pounds a year. Number 3. Log into your workplace pension and find out what fund you're actually invested in. Most people are auto-enrolled into the employer's default fund. Many default funds are managed lifestyle funds that start moving your money away from growth assets, equities, and into bonds and cash 10 to 15 years before your target retirement date. If you're in your 30s, that means your money could start being de-risked in your 40s. Find out what fund you're in. If you're more than 15 years from retirement, it's worth checking whether you'd prefer a global equity index fund. That is not financial advice. It is a question worth asking. Number 4. Know the one number you're aiming for. The PLSA Retirement Living Standards are published and free online. For a single person, minimum standard is $14,400 a year. Moderate is $31,300. Comfortable is $43,100. Pick your number. Subtract the state pension, around £12,000 if you'll have full entitlement. The remaining gap is what your pension pot needs to generate. Here's a simple way to work out your target pot size. Multiply your annual gap by 25. That gives you the pension pot you're aiming for, based on a sustainable 4% annual withdrawal. Example. You want £25,000 a year in retirement. State pension covers $12,000. Gap is $13,000. Pot needed, roughly £325,000. Write that number down. Stick it somewhere you'll see it. That number turns every monthly contribution from an abstract good intention into a measurable step towards something real. Number 5. Understand your two main options for actually taking your pension when the time comes. Option 1 is drawdown. Your pot stays invested, and you withdraw from it as needed. It's flexible, but you carry the investment risk and the risk of outliving your money. Option 2 is an annuity. You hand your pot to an insurance company, and they pay you a guaranteed income for the rest of your life, however long that is. Annuity rates have improved significantly since 2022 as interest rates rose. Currently, a £100,000 pot for a 65-year-old might buy roughly £7,000 to £7,500 of guaranteed annual income for life. Most people use a combination. Some guaranteed income from an annuity or the state pension to cover essentials, with a drawdown pot on top for flexibility. The point isn't to decide today. The point is to know this exists, so when you're 60, you're making an informed choice, not a panicked one. Remember Harry from Leeds? He opened the forecast tool. He saw £4,200 a year. He closed the laptop. But here's what happened the next morning. He checked his NI record, 11 years of gaps. He asked HR. His employer offered salary sacrifice, and he wasn't in it. He logged into his workplace pension. He was in the default lifestyle fund, being moved away from growth assets 15 years too early. 3 things he didn't know. 3 things he could fix. None of them required a financial advisor. None of them cost him a penny that day. He bought back 2 NI years. He switched to salary sacrifice. He moved into a global index fund. His pension isn't perfect. It's not finished, but it's on track. That's the goal, not perfection. On track. The state pension age will probably keep moving. The politics around pensions will keep being messy, but the mechanics don't change. Employer pays in. Government tops up. Market multiplies. Start now. Even small. Even imperfect. Because the one thing worse than a pension with a gap in it is a pension you never started. If you found this useful, the next video covers ISA versus pension, which one to fill first and why the answer isn't what most people think. I'll see you there.